You may not know me, but today I am your friend, and I bring you an important message. Now, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Delete your fucking LinkedIn. Hello, my name is Jameer Griffin, and I'm an organizer. Sometimes I'm a clown, but all of the time I'm an eldest brother. I'm a member of my community, a beloved member of my community, I would hope. But most importantly, I am me. I've worn a number of different hats throughout the years, but the most intriguing one thus far has been Lexa Protagonist. At the intersection of politics and pop culture, I created this platform very meticulously. And no matter how absurd it may seem, I built this algorithm brick by brick. The strangeness, the ridiculousness, the absurdity of it all, that's on purpose. Meeting people where they are is how you win hearts and minds. And in 2026, our minds are stuck on this fascinating object we carry along with us everywhere, your iPhone. Now, the Pew Research Center tells us that roughly 5.66 billion social media users worldwide exist as of late 2025. Here in America or abroad, that's about 69%, funny number, of the world's population using social media at any given time. 50% of US adults are using Instagram in this moment right now. The public square is here. When I'm on SEPTA on my way home from work and I look out onto the sea of crooked necks staring into the machine, I know that this is the time to post. People often ask me, when do you post? Why do you post? No, seriously, why the hell did you post that weird shit that you posted? And of course, that's all by design. The thing about humanity is that you can, of course, have the many different languages like we do, Spanish, French, Farsi, but characters and symbols are the great unifier. And of course, again, that's by design. Capitalism. But you know what the hell I mean when I send you winky emoji or brain handshake brain emoji or any of the millions of memes that we've created here on Earth in 2026. So when they ask why memes, I say, why not? It's a tried and true language. We know just what I mean when I send you a meme. Thousands of years later, we are still fascinated with ancient hieroglyphs. Just like now, almost 20 years later, we are still obsessed with watching Vine compilations and YouTube compilations and TikTok and YouTube shorts. I created this platform in order to keep a pulse on the work in a way that no job could ever allow me to do, not in any fulfilling way, at least. I wanted to find community, help build community, and be involved in my community any way that God would allow me to. I'll pop out to anything. I'll pop out to anything. I'll show up to an event dressed as a clown. I'll go to a rave, pull up to the dog park, set a table up. I'm going to sell my t-shirts tonight at a rave because one of my followers just asked if I'd come through. I'll pop out to anything because making real connections instead of waiting for them gives me what no job could ever give me. It's like going outside is like scrolling IG reels with your body. It's that simple. Now, I felt as an organizer, I had done all the right things. I had volunteered my time and I was checking LinkedIn. I'd spent countless hours working on campaigns, putting together anti-racist trainings and ADA seminars. And of course, I was checking LinkedIn. I was working in food banks and doing book readings and all the things that I thought were the right things, the correct thing to do. And in that, I was checking LinkedIn. Looming behind this drive to do good and leave nothing undone lie wherein this insatiable hunger to feed, to feel like I had to live for that LinkedIn connection. The potential a notification could change my life for the better, that I'd finally have that 85K plus salary and be able to live somewhat more comfortably than I had ever lived before. It's bullshit. Social capital is the wealth of the working world. Friends on Facebook, followers on TikTok, retweets on Twitter. Who do you know? Where did you go? Did you post it on Instagram? And if not, did it actually happen? Probably not. Social capital is funny because nobody teaches you just how valuable it is until after you need it. A friend introduces you to a job. A neighbor helps you move a couch. Someone shares your fundraiser. Someone you met once at an event remembers your name 6 months later and sends an opportunity your way. That connection changes your life. Now, economists have spent so much time trying to measure financial capital, but most of us are spending our day to day lives surviving solely on social capital. The relationships that we are building have become the infrastructure that carries us through life. And again, the craziest thing is that we are investing in social capital every day, whether we realize it or not. This, again, is the byproduct of the material world in which we live under capitalism. You are a commodity, an endless resource. An abundance of exploitable, malleable, impressionable consumers have been captured within a loop of endless extraction that is often cruel and sometimes kind. And it's that small chance that it might be kind and that it might work out for you that keeps you exploited, that keeps you in the loop, uninspired and unwilling to step out of the bubble a little bit to create something that may or may not fit within the framework of society. Community offers a different model. Mutual aid asks the simple question: what if we took care of each other just because we could? Not because there was a grant attached, nor because it would look good on a resume, not because someone was watching, but because it felt good to do. Mutual aid taught me that some of the strongest economies I've ever participated in weren't built on money, but instead were built on trust, a handshake. The idea that you are to work yourself to the bone is a death sentence laid forth by the few at the top, because when you work together, you'll find it makes life so much easier. Because who got us? We got us. So at the start of October 2025, there were an estimated 5.6 billion social media users worldwide. More than 2/3 of humanity is now connected through these digital spaces. Like I mentioned before, in the United States, about half of adults use Instagram alone. We're spending hours a day communicating through symbols, images, memes, videos, inside jokes. The question isn't whether these networks matter. We know that they do. The question is whether we're using them to build community or are we treating them like slot machines for validation? So what did I really want? The problem wasn't just LinkedIn. The problem was that I was limiting myself to LinkedIn. I was telling myself that if I worked a little harder, that I could achieve a higher salary, likely capped, with no prospect for personal growth, with no future, with no stratification within the company that I had joined. No, I was telling myself that I should work for someone else and accept less because I wanted to be comfortable. So I would trade my labor for safety rather than to risk and experiment, to lose and to learn. Ever since I deleted LinkedIn, I've stopped losing. What surprised me most wasn't the opportunity, but it was the people. You see, the older I get, the more convinced I become that community is simply the practice of loving strangers until they aren't strangers anymore. I'll say that again. Community is simply the practice of loving strangers until they aren't strangers anymore. Not because they can do something for you, not because proximity to others is useful. That's lame, that's shallow, it's weird. And not because they're connected to something you need, but just simply because they're human. They're a person. Walk over and shake their hand, dap them up, say what's up. Because somewhere along the way, we've convinced ourselves that every relationship has to have a transaction of some sort attached to it. But some of the most meaningful friendships I found in my life began with absolutely no expectation of a return, just a hope for a better tomorrow. And that's the kind of wealth that doesn't show up in LinkedIn. So I implore you to do the following. Number one, go and try that new place. Go to that event that you saw on Instagram. Travel alone for once. You'll meet friends there. You'll find community simply existing. Just be. Two, you could try and try again. Did you die? No. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. This is an ancient Japanese proverb. No matter how many times you fall or are knocked down, you always have the choice to get back up. Get back up. 3, touch grass. Literally, go sit outside more. You'd be surprised what taking a walk to the park could do for your life. A random conversation with a stranger or a neighbor could lead to something better. You never know. 4, stop telling yourself that you can't. Just commit to the bit. Commit to the bit and follow it. Don't allow your productivity to be tied to a singular timeline. Be fluid, shift accordingly. Be patient with yourself. It will come. You'll find that when you move like water, things come to you, much like water comes back together in the ocean. Following down a river of thoughts, experiences, things that may or may not happen. It doesn't have to happen. It's just all about how you get there. And finally, delete your fucking LinkedIn. You don't need it. I know I don't need it. My name is Jameer Griffin. You can follow me on Instagram. No other platform is really useful for my bit. You can follow me at Lexaprotagonist. You can email me at the same email. And of course, you can find me meandering around Netroots today. Thank you.